we're doing it again. So we're going to react to it's finally time for the San Antonio Spurs to rebuild. I watched some of this and I was like, this is pretty interesting. And I just went ahead and fast forwarded. I think right here, he's probably going to start talking about the rebuild. So shout out to If I Must. Please don't make me angry. Please don't. I'm getting tired and sick of people making me angry, not knowing anything about the San Antonio Spurs. So let's just see what this gentleman have to say about the San Antonio Spurs. Let's go.
But if I'm the Spurs, I'm cleaning all house. All guys over the age of 25 and up, aside from Dejounte Murray, because let me see how old Dejounte is. Okay, he just recently turned 25 a couple of days ago. So I would keep Dejounte because I think this Spurs rebuild isn't going to last that long because knowing Popovich, knowing how he
Okay, here's the thing. So it's called Spurs Need to Rebuild. It's finally time. But I think we kind of are in a way, you know? It's a really weird thing where people talk about that, like the Spurs need to rebuild. Why aren't they rebuilding? Yes, rebuild. They're kind of doing that. Like even someone like Devin Vassell could potentially end up being a star. We don't know yet, obviously, but we know that he could end up being, you know, really, really good. He's already pretty good even as a rookie. You're looking at Joshua Primo, we kind of see that the Spurs knew what they were doing with picking him, and we were all just idiots. But this whole situation about the rebuild, I think they're kind of already rebuilding. And then the whole thing of like getting rid of anybody that's over 25, that's not necessarily a good idea. You got to keep in mind that no matter what, you need some type of veterans on the team. No team really starts from ground zero with like 18, 19, 20-year-olds and become, you know, a dynasty. It usually don't happen like that. I mean, even for us, even getting Tim Duncan, he obviously kind of initiated it, but at the same time, I mean, you had David Robinson on the team. So I don't know. I don't really buy that trade anybody that's over 25 because at the end of the day, are you really going to get as equal value for someone like, you know, Derek White? Now, if you did something where you traded like a big package, and you try to get a star, maybe. But yeah, I don't see that really going down. By the way, I do want to say I like how he got this, you know, said I know it's a green screen and stuff, but it's pretty cool.
develops players and the Spurs developmental and scouting team, how they find diamonds in the rough like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and obviously Kawhi Leonard, fleecing the Pacers out of that pick for George Hill. I repeat, George Hill. One of the greatest trades in history. Obviously a lopsided one in hindsight, but considering at the time the Pacers wanted a point guard, the Spurs, they wanted Kawhi.
He knows his stuff. Okay. Also, I like that poetic justice. Yes, man. Yes. Tupac fans are always smart.
Leonard, and obviously it worked out for them. So props to the Spurs for that. So it's clear that the Spurs developmental team, their scouting department, they're a great department. They know how to do their job to the best of their ability. They might be the best scouting and developmental department in the league. So I have no concerns on if they can develop these guys.
Okay.
Guys like Derek White, we've seen how they
What? Dude, I'm not used to this, bro. Tell me more. Tell me more, dog. Oh my gosh.
Him, and he became a useful piece for them moving forward. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the rest of this roster. Let's not forget Lonnie Walker. And by the way, to everybody that's saying, oh, Mustard, you're casual, you don't know the Spurs roster. It's not that I don't know their roster. I just know they made a lot of moves this offseason. I don't want to forget a lot of players on this team because
bro, you're doing a good job thus far, okay? You're doing a pretty good job. The fact that you know that our developmental team is one of the best in the NBA, or if not the best, as you said, that's kudos right there, bro. You get points for knowing us at least a little bit. This is the type of content I like.
A touch on every single player that's impactful, that's going to be impactful, because they're going to need it. They're not going to be that good next year, I assume. Even if they're better than we anticipate, let's say they're not a 15 seed, they're a 12 seed, I don't even think that's a good idea. I think they need to tank. They need to tank this year, even if it's not on purpose.
I don't agree, but at least you know the San Antonio Spurs, so I'm not going to get too angry at you. But I don't necessarily agree in tanking. I never agree with it. Now he said if it's not on purpose, yeah, then that's just natural and it'll just happen. And that's kind of how where we're at right now. If the Spurs don't try to make a big move, yeah, that's just kind of where you're at. You're going to just tank no matter what. Yeah, so I don't know.
Just find a way. Just do it. Tank. Finally, get a legitimate top 5 pick, a legit franchise guy that you can build around. And that's why I say keep Dejounte Murray, have him inflate his numbers maybe this.
You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that might what it has to come to. Like, you're going to have somebody that you can build around. Now the question is, can that be a Keldon Johnson or Keldon Johnson or Devin Vassell or any of the other guys that we got, even a Lonnie Walker? I'll say this. This is what I'll say. I don't necessarily believe that you need a top 5 pick to build around. The NBA is much different today. Like, a lot of the players that teams are kind of building around that, they're really, taking off, you don't necessarily have to be a top 5 pick. Like, obviously, the chances of you being a great team increase tremendously when you get a top 5 pick. But I'm thinking of somebody like Giannis Antetokounmpo. That would be the type of player that the San Antonio Spurs would get. A Giannis, a guy that's going to stick around, not going to try to go to California when they get the chance or when they get the opportunity, when they get better and other teams want them and they're a hot commodity. It's going to be somebody like a Giannis. And guys like Giannis's are going to be diamonds in the rough. So it is potential. Like, there's potential there for Keldon Johnson to make that leap over the next few years, and he end up becoming our Giannis, so to speak. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't think the Spurs necessarily have to have a top 5, top 3 pick to be great. We got really lucky with a Tim Duncan who would stick around like that. And having Greg Popovich. So you got to keep that in mind too. Over the next few years, Popovich will retire. He won't be in that coaching position. And even if you think of a guy like Chris Paul, who actually verbalized this, saying that he wasn't sure if he wanted to come to the Spurs because he didn't know if Greg Popovich would be there. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So when it's all said and done, you're going to have to just keep doing your best, keep grinding it out. You don't want to tank with a team like that. Honestly, I don't want this team to lose and not make the playoffs. This is actually the year that will really help our team's mojo, so to speak, going forward if they just, grind it out and do what they got to do. Okay, I'm rambling a little bit, but that's my take on the whole tanking thing. Oh my goodness, tanking thing.
Year, because even if he's not the point guard of the future, it's time that you decide that. Like, Dejounte Murray has been this.
Have they decided if Dejounte Murray is the main guy? I think they kind of have. I don't know. It's been a lot of rumors. I don't know. We'll see.
This guy that we know is good, great defensive potential, and already a really good defensive player, solid playmaker, good rebounder, very underrated rebounder for his position.
He is a good rebounder.
He's a solid player. Like, the only holes in his game is scoring. Like, his offensive ability to create for others consistently as a playmaker in the half court, I sometimes question.
He gotten much better that this season, but I like where this guy is going. Yeah, I sometimes question it too.
Question that because he doesn't draw in the defense as much. He's not a great 3-point shooter.
He doesn't. But I will say this too. I drew a blank. Never mind. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, no, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say that our 3-point shooters on the team might help that a little bit.
Your teams go under his screens. He's not that aggressive. At times he needs to be, probably. And
he's aggressive too often, actually. But
I think that when you have a point guard like that, just figure out what he is, even though you kind of know what he is, but give him another year where he has all the reins to himself now. So if he were to go out there this year and average like Shea numbers or something, then you keep him. You keep him. But if he goes out there, averages like 18, 19 points, around the same rebounds and assists, if not just a little bit higher, and the efficiency's still around the same, and he's still an inconsistent 3-point shooter, though he's a good defensive player, great defensive player.
18, 19 would be sick though, bro. Like, that would be really good. I think DeMar DeRozan only averaged, low 20s, 21? I'll look into that in a minute. But, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty good numbers, isn't it? I don't know.
Still move him. I think you trade him at that point because now his value is probably at its highest because of his stats being the best of probably his entire career. So after you trade him, you get more assets, maybe a first-round pick out of that, or another.
Oh my goodness, player. That would be nice.
See what you can get on the market because there are teams that are going to be in use for a point guard that's a solid slasher off the ball, solid defensive, great defensive player. I would say there are a lot of teams that could use that. If I'm the Denver Nuggets,
I got it right here.
To have someone like this.
I got it right here. DeMar DeRozan averaged 21.6 last season. So yeah, if DJ averaged 18, 19, that's pretty sick. Like, that's really good, actually. I don't know.
Dejounte Murray. Maybe Michael Porter Jr. gets available. Who knows? I'm just saying, who knows? I'm not saying that the Nuggets would do that, but let's say Michael Porter Jr. plateaus next year. He's not as good as a lot of people thought he would be, especially in the absence of Jamal Murray, and their defense is suffering, especially in the backcourt. Why not have a pairing of Jamal Murray and Dejounte Murray? The Murrays.
I don't know how I feel about that one. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't even think Jamal Murray is really a Spur. I don't even think that's a really good comparison, or like a guy that we would want to jump out and get, I don't know.
Regardless, yeah, I think Dejounte Murray's future with this team, I was saving that for later, but this year is going to be an important year because you're going to see what he can do with the offense fully to himself. He can play make for others. Let's see how he makes other guys better instead of...
He's really high on Dejounte Murray. That's something that I noticed, like people that aren't Spurs fans, like they don't know a lot about us. Well, I think this guy knows enough. But man, people love Dejounte Murray.
DeMar DeRozan be the number one guy, it's obviously going to be Dejounte Murray, and we'll see where that goes because they have shooters like a Doug McDermott. You have other guys like Lonnie Walker, which I'm about to get into. Lonnie last year showed some improvement and strides in his game. I'm looking at the numbers right now. He averaged 11 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, whatever.
We know all this. But I keep you guys informed on that. Yeah, we kind of know all this. Let me see if I can get to the conclusion of his argument here. Yes, see.
Keldon Johnson, who's also a guard. Devin Vassell, he's kind of like a combo wing. So that's going to be interesting to see how that guard rotation works. It's pretty stacked at the guard rotation.
He knows our team a little bit.
But it does offer some flexibility. Maybe some guys can learn how to play the 3. Like I said, Devin Vassell, he's a combo wing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But like I said, just go full tank mode. Don't worry about winning games. Don't worry about trying to make the playoffs.
You got to try.
And getting a play-in spot, that should not matter. That should not matter to the San Antonio Spurs.
But like when you start doing that, like you don't care, then that's kind of purposefully tanking. I'm not for doing it on purpose.
Spurs, if the Pelicans want to pass you up, let them. If the Kings want to pass you up, let them. I know it's new territory to see a New Orleans team and see a Kings team be better than the San Antonio Spurs, but sometimes it is necessary in order.
That is weird, isn't it?
To get your
if
team
that was a thing. Oops, didn't mean to do that.
Where you want them to be, and that's obviously to get a top pick, build around that pick with the players that you have, because if the players that you have develop, it's a solid supporting cast around a legitimate franchise guy, because I don't see a franchise guy on this team.
Bro, like he knows our team pretty well. Like this is the same stuff that I've been saying. Like we have a lot of pieces and it's just weird. Like I'm sitting back like who's going to be the guy? Who's going to step up? Because you have a lot of like shooters that you can kind of play off of right now. So, yeah, I mean, it could be Dejounte. I don't know. He seemed to think that it could be. I don't know.
I said if Dejounte turns into that, good.
Oh,
but
he said it again.
I don't see that happening. And I think Dejounte next year is going to be the year you inflate his numbers, make him look like a star on this team, despite his efficiency may not looking as good as a lot of people may expect. But still, inflate his numbers, get his trade value up, move him, get a top pick, and go on from there.
Wow. That wasn't bad. Okay, that was a little different. All right, so this is what we're going to do. So usually people get the thumb down, but you're going to get the thumb up. And usually I give them a bad take, but you know what? You get a good take. There we go. Comment. All right, good job, bro. Good job. I'm proud of you. This was a good video. Yeah, I mean, I guess I encourage you guys to support this guy. I like this. So this isn't his main channel. I guess subscribe to his main channel, which is Young Mustard right here. Whoa, 64 subs, pretty nice. Yeah, man, good job. Good job with this video. Also, if you guys want to support this channel that we're on right now, this one right here, head over to patreon.com/ClanTheSpursFan. Got the link in the description for that. Only $2 per month, and I'm gonna do a monthly giveaway each month. So yeah, man, cool. I wasn't expecting to not really get angry. So yeah, good job, Young Mustard. Nice.